Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Autos. So this video is a product review video about this product, Bilt Hamber Deox-C. It's a rust removing product. So I've got an electric van here. It's coming from the lease company. They're always filthy in the back because obviously vans get used and components get rusted. So in this case, all the tie down loops or lashing hooks, whatever you want to call them, are pretty corroded. That one is quite corroded, and I find this is a very good product to easily remove rust and make these things look so much better, actually end up almost looking like new. And you're also on vans, you get the latches at the back. This as you can see is quite corroded there. It's not so bad on partner vans like this, but on other vans like the Nissan ENV200 and the Renault Kangoo, the latches are covered in plastic and it ends up being a bit of a water trap. You know, this is the same on this van. You can see there's water there, but that rubber seal stops any moisture coming out, and the plastic on the other vans holds any dirt, soil or sand or anything that's in the back of the van, retains that moisture, and the latches tend to corrode quite badly. So I use this product to clean them up when I'm getting a vehicle ready for sale. So what we'll do is have a quick look at this, and I'm going to whip off all these latches and then I'll show you what I do. I've taken all the tie down rings out and the latch off there. In this case these aren't particularly rusty. It's not going to be a very good test of this product because it will cope with things much more corroded than this. I have had a look outside to see if I can find any old rusty nuts or bolts or bits of metal, and I just cannot find anything today, because I wanted to add some other rusty old metal with this test to show really how good this is. But at the moment this is the rustiest bit of metal I can find. So to start with, I'm going to give these a quick wire brush, not to remove any rust, but just to get rid of some of the grit and sand on all of these, because there's no point putting them in solution if they're dirty with all of this rubbish on to start with. So I've got a 1 kilogram bottle here of this stuff. The stuff is actually powder, and we can see it there. And you mix it up at a rate of 1 to 19, so it goes an awful long way. So here I've got 400 millilitres of hot water and 20 millilitres of the white powder, so hardly any. So yeah, this 1 kilogram bottle of this stuff really does last a long time. So I'm just going to stir that with the end of my wire brush there. So yeah, all I do then is just chuck everything in. So found a brake spring clip from a BMW i3, front brake pads. Not that rusty, but it's only a bit of tin, so we'll chuck that in as well. And then it's just a case of leaving it. So something like this I'll only need to leave it for a couple of hours, but what I'll often do if it's particularly rusty metal is just chuck it all in and leave it overnight, and then the next morning they will be nice and clean. But we can see there, I don't know whether you can see that, it's bubbling already, but every now and then I will just pick this up and just agitate it a little bit. But the nice thing about this product is you can just chuck them in there and then leave it and get on and do something else. So after about half an hour or so, you can see that is really working and doing its job. So I've managed to find a few other bits of rusty metal. So you've only got to look at a Peugeot iron and you'll soon find some rusty metal in those cars. So anyway, we've got some latches there which are pretty corroded, and we've got the wing nuts there that hold the engine cover down. They always corrode. Those 4 are better than those ones. But anyway, I'm going to run the test on these bits, particularly those 2 latches. They are visible, and yeah, they do look pretty terrible. Now I've got some more water there, only 200 millilitres and only 10 millilitres of the powder, except I'm going to have to put that in there to get the powder out of the little measuring jug, because that was damp. I don't know whether you're meant to get this stuff on your fingers, but it seems alright. So we will now just drop all of these in and leave that and see what these are like later on this afternoon. So I thought I'd better read the safety label on this product, because some people do love to pick you up if you get something wrong in your videos or criticise anything they can find in the comments. So the health and safety writing on this bottle says keep out of reach of children, of course, avoid prolonged contact with your skin, wear suitable gloves for prolonged hand immersion, will sting, cuts, abrasions and damaged skin. After contact with skin, wash with soap and water. So yeah, it's okay to have a little bit of contact with skin, particularly if you don't have any cuts. So yeah, as I found, I've got this on my hands plenty of times, and not a problem at all. It's not corrosive, even though that is dissolving the rust in there. So here we are. It's actually the following day now. I didn't realise when I was filming this last night it was actually quite late in the day. I thought it was much earlier. So I've left these overnight. So here we are next morning, and you can see quite mucky old liquid. So I'm going to empty these and have a look, see what it's done. So at this stage I use another Bilt Hamber product, which is Atom Mac, and this is an anti-corrosive, well, effectively I use it as a wash. This is a liquid. In this case I've got a 500 milliliter bottle, and I use it in a pump sprayer, and I use it to spray on brake discs, suspension, subframes, any sort of components on the car. If I'm servicing a vehicle underneath and anything looks a bit corrosive, then I just spray this on. It's quite handy on electric cars when vehicles are sat for a long time. It stops the brake disc from corroding, as they all do. This is very economical, so you mix it to a level of 5% at its strongest, anything between 1 and 5%. So I've got here 1 litre of water, and that's how much liquid I put in. Just a tiny little bit, very, very small amount. And I'm going to put that in the pump sprayer, and then what I do is I just use that as a wash, just to give it a bit of extra protection. So I've rinsed out the Deox-C, so I just rinse the metalwork with the Atom Mac, and that just adds a bit of extra protection. So I'm going to tip these out now on a cloth. So these items, as you can see, they've come up looking like new, and I suspect these will now pivot. They will do. They now move, whereas before they were rock solid. So yeah, doing this sort of thing, they really do come up nicely, but then these weren't that rusted. Usually they will be a lot more rusted than that. That's the spring clip from the brakes. That's still got a bit of dirt on there, but that will all wipe off. The screws are all rust free, and then this latch, yeah, it's got the rust off. Hasn't done a brilliant job, to be honest. I'd expect it to have done a little bit better than that, but for what I need, cleaning up these tie down loops, it's done an excellent job, and it will make this van look so much better with absolutely minimal effort. Let's next have a look at these components. These don't look so good. Well, that one looks very good, considering how much rust was on there. That looks an awful lot better. The screws have got rid of quite a lot of the rust, but there is still some on there. These bolts look a lot better, but that metal latch hasn't improved very much, so maybe I didn't agitate it enough and it was covered with these other screws too much. So they look a lot better, but I'm not quite so impressed with that. If they were both like that and not like that, then it would have been great. So yeah, that one's going to need to go in some solution again, maybe on its own, and then that will come out looking like that. So there we go, a little bit of a fail on that one, but the rest has done a very good job. It's a shame I didn't have any other rustier metal to try it on, but I'm sure if you got in there with a wire brush and cleaned them and helped the solution along a bit better, it would produce better results. But I'm very happy with that. It's a very easy product to use, and I've used it on much rustier metal, with fantastic results. So I'll put the links to these products on Amazon, so if you want to just go ahead and buy them on Amazon, the links are in the YouTube description below. As I said, this one is just a powder, very economical, works very well, and it will last you absolutely ages. I've had this 1 kilogram bottle. I think this cost about 16 or 17 pounds. I've had it for a very long time now and still an awful lot in there. This one is a little bit limited use. It's not really a particularly good corrosion remover in its own right. I use it more as a final wash, and just as a little wash if I'm working on vehicles and I can see a bit of surface corrosion. It just helps, but it's not particularly strong. So that one has limited use, but again, I'll put the link to that on in the description below. Again, it's so cheap and the concentration is so minimal, then a little bottle like that's going to last you a long time. So if you found this video useful, please do click the thumbs up. It really does help other people find this channel on YouTube. And do have a look at the back catalogue of videos on the channel. Okie doke, bye now.